it would seem that the analysis that I gave about this situation 2 days ago was spot on, 100% correct. The first thing that I said was that there was no way for the ICE agent to tell which way the wheels of the car were pointing at. And as you can see for yourself now that the body cam footage was released by the Sun, there's no way of seeing where the wheels are pointing at. And take into account that the body cam is usually at the chest level, so the head of the ICE agent is much higher. There's absolutely no way of him telling if the car was going forward or in reverse. The second thing that I said is probably the lady didn't want to kill him. And looking at the footage, it's probably true, right? So we have the ICE agent being antagonized by the wife of the lady. And she actually spoke to him before. Now, you have the colleague, like another ICE agent, coming up and telling her to step out of the car. And notice what happens, right? Like, she is facing him. She is looking at him. And this ICE agent probably just wants to go next to his colleague. Like, he doesn't expect that she's going to start driving. And he has no reason to expect this because this lady is trying to get into the car. Now, at this point, she is looking at him. But I believe she is high on adrenaline. And everything happens in the fraction of a second. Again, she starts the car despite the fact that her wife is trying to get in. And I think she's like really panicked over the fact that this ICE agent is telling her to get out of the car. I think she just doesn't want to go to prison. Like, she realized that the situation is becoming really bad for her. So what she does is this. Right? So you can hear the sound of the impact. And you can also take into account the fact that the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, said in a conference that this guy already was hit by another car in a previous encounter and he had his arm in stitches. Right? So, again, like, everyone panicked. I think this is what happened. I think the wife of that ICE agent started screaming, "Drive, baby, drive, drive." The lady saw the man coming up to her, telling her to get out of the car. She panicked. She ran into the guy, and the officers panicked as well and opened fire. Okay? Like, it is possible that you have a situation where everyone panicked. Now, here's the thing, though. Legally speaking, I do believe that the ICE officers were in the right. Morally speaking, I do believe that when an officer of the law tells you to get out of the car, you don't listen to the hysterical wife that says, "Drive, baby, drive, drive." Instead, you get out of the fucking car. And so, like, all of this could have been avoided if people generally follow the law. But there is a cultural aspect that needs to be discussed. And this is something that I'm pretty sure all of us have noticed. The moment that right-wingers heard about this case, on day one, right-wingers had a preconceived notion of what happened. Right-wingers believed, okay, so you have ICE agents that were sent to deport illegal people that broke the law, and you have leftists that did their best in order to prevent the officers from doing their duties. And so some leftists probably went overboard and positioned themselves in a dangerous situation. They antagonized the officer and they got shot. This is what right-wingers had preconceived notions the moment they read the title. Now, the interesting thing is the same right-wingers actually did go on the internet, actually wanted to see different footages of the video, they wanted to see different camera angles, they wanted to see what happened, and they were actually doing research. Like, I was on different Discord servers, both with right-wingers and left-wingers, and this is what right-wingers were doing. Like, they were actually arguing with themselves. It's like, how are the wheels pointed? What is happening? Like, did she try to back away? Didn't she? Like, they were generally interested in the legality of the issue. Meanwhile, the way left-leaning people behaved is that they had preconceived notions. And the preconceived notions was that any type of deportation, under any reason whatsoever, is illegitimate and should be stopped. Deportations are a crime against humanity. It doesn't matter if the person is a convicted felon, if he's a drug trafficker, if he's a human trafficker. It doesn't matter. All immigrants have a right to be in the United States of America. The ICE agents belong to the Trump administration. Anything they're doing is immoral and illegitimate. And so when leftists were looking at the video, they weren't looking in order to try and understand what happened. They were looking to try to find the best frame, the best soundbite, the best clip, in order to convince other leftists to go outside and protest. And you can tell that this is what they want, because I've noticed leftists' account now that were initially suggesting that the woman was just trying to get away and there was no impact with the police officer, like she was just backing away. They're now making a different argument. They're changing goalposts and they're saying, yeah, but the speed wasn't that high. At that level of speed, like, yeah, she bumped into him, but at that level of speed, he would be fine. In other words, like, they will constantly find justification. They can't just admit, okay, the lady wasn't supposed to be there. She should have just followed orders and got out of the car. And if she thought that the ICE agent was doing something that was illegal, she could have sued him later. They're not thinking like that, okay? Like, they're thinking that no matter what would have happened, the lady was always in the right. And again, the main problem here is a difference of principles. Leftists believe that any type of deportation is immoral and illegitimate. Right-wingers disagree. Right-wingers believe that the United States have laws, and those laws need to have to be enforced. In fact, they believe that if the law was followed here, this lady would have been alive. The issue is that the right don't want to argue on the principle because they would lose, right? Like, if you go to normies and you say, yes, I believe that a drug dealer shouldn't be deported, and they're actually doing this with Venezuela, right? Like, they believe, despite the fact that the Democrats had a bounty on Maduro, which means that they literally wanted him in the United States. Like, why would you put a bounty on someone that you don't want? Okay? Even though they believe that, they're still not okay with what happened. And so, they can't argue with the normies like, yes, I think that a human trafficker that came into the United States illegally shouldn't be deported. I think that a drug trafficker shouldn't be deported. Normies would just tell them to fuck off. That's insane. What do you mean like they should? Of course they should be deported. And so what they do instead is they try to find events, and they don't care about what actually happened. They don't care about the history or the context or anything like that. They already have like their preconceived notions that they're not willing to change. Like, right-wingers also have preconceived notions, but they're willing to actually engage with reality and change them if necessary. And so now you have a problem where, like, the right-winger has no more reason to engage with the left. Like, they will automatically believe that anything a leftist says is disingenuous, it's bad faith, and the issue is not the issue. Like, they don't really care about this lady, they don't really care about this event, they don't really care about preventing future events. What they care about is making sure that deportations stop. And right-wingers just can't agree with that. Okay? And so, everything else that stems from that is going to be bad faith. It's kind of like arguing over a map when the two sides do not even agree where the North Star is. Like, there's no point discussing what is Greenland and Venezuela, at which longitude and latitude, if people can't agree where North is. So this is what you have in America now, like a complete collapse of communication. A complete collapse of people talking to each other, because half of the people are engaging in bad faith. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.